Hello ladies and gents, it's Hagbard Celine here, and we're gonna go through that BuzzFeed video, I promised.
Why is it so hard to be on time?
Well, that's a 10 out of 10 for not burying the lead, I suppose.
Like, why does 5 to 10 always become 20 to 30?
Don't know. Let's ask Mayor de Blasio, shall we?
I was running on CP time.
That's correct, ladies and gents. This is BuzzFeed's 27 questions you would get lynched in the street for asking.
If my dab is on fleek, am I lit?
No, I believe you're woke in that instance.
Why is it a problem if I like anime?
Because many in your community hate Asians.
Why do black people look at your shoes before they greet you?
Because they spend thousands of dollars on Jordans.
Why are we more likely to engage in the new dance trend than we are to get involved in politics or opening a business?
Again, I don't know.
How did watermelon become our thing? Like, everybody should love watermelon.
Everybody does love watermelons, and watermelons came from Africa. You should be happy about that.
Why do you get upset when I don't like a black celebrity?
Because many people in your community are cultishly tribal.
Race aside, some people are just terrible.
The fact that you think this is a revelation to your community is terrifying.
Why do we call each other the N-word, but get vehemently upset when a white person uses the N-word?
See one of my previous answers, re-tribalism.
It drains my soul to hear the word, and I just don't understand how people who have any understanding of history can use that word.
Well, dear, then I advise that you toughen your easily drained soul and harden your apparently very thin skin. Oh, here's where we cry about beauty standards.
Why is my natural hair, the hair that grows out of my head, seen as a political statement?
It's amazing how often the answer to this is because your community made it that way.
Why do we think people with light skin look better than people with dark skin?
White supremacist, racist colorism, obviously, you shitlord.
Do you really believe that black is beautiful?
What the hell? Where did this come from?
Or is that just something you say because it sounds cool?
Why didn't you get one person to do that sentence? Also, I love when these have a reversal. Like, do you really mean it when you say white is right? Or is it just something you say because it sounds cool? Just imagine that.
Why do some black people say that you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl?
White supremacist, racist, colorism. Jesus, you guys are repetitive.
When that is said to me, it still makes me feel like the ugliest little black thing.
You hear that, black people? Stop.
Why do some black men only date white women?
Why do some white men only date Asians? Why do some black women only date white men? Why do some people think the Berlin Wall is sexually attractive?
Why is it okay for black men to date white women, but not okay for a black woman to date outside her race?
It's not. Racial miscegenation of any kind is unacceptable.
Why do you protest Black Lives Matter?
And then tear each other down in the next breath.
Because Black Lives Matter is about power over the community, not empowerment of the community. I'm a white guy and I know that.
Why do we say that we don't want to be seen as a monolith, but then try to take people's black cards away for not liking something that's supposedly black?
Because black people can be racist and racially motivated too?
Why are we so quick to support a non-black owned business, but then hesitate when it's a black owned business?
Honestly, how much research do you think your average person has done on who owns what business they're buying from?
I mean, is there a cutoff time for this whole homophobia thing in the black community? Because I'm really looking forward to that.
Me too. Radicalist black groups sounding more and more like a dark-skinned KKK is getting quite boring to me.
Why is growing up without a father so common in our race?
What race is that exactly? The copper race?
Why don't we like to confront our mental health issues?
Because the most perfect race on earth can't possibly be mentally ill.
Therapy is such a wonderful and magical place.
Why is there a checklist for being black?
Again, a good portion of this list appears to simply be, why are black people so intra-bigoted?
Why is being educated considered a white thing?
Not with a 10-foot pole am I touching that. Not a chance.
Why can't I love school and also be black?
'Cause you was born with all the knowledge you ever needed, and instead you go into the white man's school to get brainwashed with they bullshit, girl.
Why do I have to be mixed in order to have long hair?
Clearly you do not.
Why do you think well-off black people don't know what it means to be black?
Because to many in your community, being black inherently means being poor.
Black isn't only defined by adversity.
Again, the horror that you need to say that out loud is just overwhelming. It comes over me in waves as I watch shit like this.
Why do some black people say, oh, I have Native American in my family, in order to feel interesting or more valuable than other black people around them?
Why do some white people say they're Irish only on St. Patrick's Day? It's not really hard to understand the motivation here, hun.
Why can't we just acknowledge that there are a bunch of different types of black people walking around and they're all amazing and unique and special in their own way?
Because then each black person in America would have to rise and fall under their own merit and would no longer have the victim status that some of them hold very dearly.
We within the black community are so quick to kind of tear each other down and to look towards other races in terms of their success and in terms of what they have, but never want to kind of look into the mirror ourselves.
Sure, I warn about crab pot theory and I'm an 18th century bigot. He tells you the same goddamn thing and he's woke.
I love black folks, but that doesn't mean I don't have questions.
Shit, imagine a white person saying that. Listen, I love black people, but I mean, I have some questions.
Why are we always looking for the discount? Shoot, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be looking for the discount too, though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm saying this, but I'm one of them.
I'm just gonna let that one hang there for a minute, and let's all recognize that there are some people that would non-ironically say that they're looking for a discount because reparations. And by some people, I mean, quite literally, in my searching for this on Google, I actually stumbled on an article that was written for NPR by a one Lee Donnella, titled A Point-by-Point Response to BuzzFeed's Questions for Black People. I honestly think that you guys should go check this out and give it a read. It's too funny. It might actually have more racial insensitivity in it than any video made by any shitlord. And she's trying to be racially sensitive and kind of excuse it away. But she fails miserably. I'll put that in the description too, simply because I thought it was pretty funny. That's it for me, ladies and gents. I hope you've enjoyed yet another community presentation of a BuzzFeed video. I'll be back next week with some more silly stuff and some more semi-serious reads. Thanks for joining me. Hope you had fun. Stay safe, good luck, and goodbye.